Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Euro 2020 fantasy football content. My name is Dan and today I am going to be sharing with you some more fantasy bargains for the Euro fantasy competition. Now guys, the first video of this went pretty well. By part one, I guess, went really well. We've identified some really nice bargains, but since then, it's kind of been over a week since I made that video. I found some more bargains, some bargains that I like even more than in the first video, and I thought, guys, I just have to share this with you. I just have to share some thoughts on some more bargains. So we are going to be going through all of the positions again: goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and forwards. So there's going to be something in here just for you, and we're going to identify a really nice bargain just perfect for your guys' team. So make sure, guys, if you do enjoy this video, please do click the like button. It really does help the channel, and of course subscribe if you love Euro fantasy and you wanna beat your mates in your leagues. Let's do it together, guys. Come on. So without further ado, I reckon we have a look at some goalkeepers. So, the goalkeeper pick, an absolute bargain that I've gone with here, is Tim Krul of the Netherlands for 4.5 million euros. Now, with Sillissen ruled out of the Euros, the Netherlands will have to depend on a backup goalkeeper. Now, many of people are kind of worried it might be Stekelenburg, that he's going to be the guy since he did start the last friendly for the Netherlands. But this was kind of Stekelenburg's first game for Netherlands since 2016, so 5 years ago. I imagine this game was kind of just to keep him fit, keep him ready, make sure that he is available to play at this tournament should he be needed. Tim Krul, on the other hand, has been the certified backup goalkeeper for a while now, and he's actually been playing pretty much every game in Sillissen's absence over the last year, and he started 6 games of the last 7 available games has Tim Krul, so that's pretty good. Now, I'm sure Dutch fans watching this video will agree Tim Krul is going to be the main starting goalkeeper for the Netherlands at this tournament, and it's not really any rotation risk here. Unless Tim Krul has a really horrible, terrible game, I don't think there'll be any rotation here. And whilst I don't think that the Netherlands are the strongest team defensively in the tournament, they do have a fantastic group against some weak opponents, and 4.5 million is just an absolute steal for a team that is gonna be one of the favourites of the entire group for sure, but maybe even the entire competition as well. Maybe they'll go deep into the tournament. So I do think Tim Krul could be a really nice bargain player to pick up. For defenders, I have to say it's got to be Joachim Mæhle as my first pick for Denmark. 4.5 million. You guys have heard me speak about him a little bit already, and it looks like now Mæhle is going to be the main left back for Denmark. Now, Kjær, who I put in my last bargains cheap players video, I do think Kjær is the safer pick, as he kind of the same price, but he's nailed on, far more nailed on, you know. But if you fancy a very, very tiny risk, and I do think this Mæhle guy is probably going to be 90%, playing 90% of games, it's a huge potential gain to take the most tiny insignificant risk for such a big potential gain. I think this guy's the guy to go for. So typically he does play at right back or right midfield, but for Denmark he plays as a left back, kind of providing the width for the team on that side. But also, because he's a right-footed player playing on the left, he can drive inside towards goals. Now, because of his attacking style of play, he is prone to grabbing goals and assists for both club and country. Now, you combine this with Denmark's fantastic defensive record and fantastic fixtures against Finland and then Russia in the third match day, and then you have potentially a really big hitting defender for a real budget price. So much so that I would arguably say that Mæhle is the best 4.5 million defender available in the game, and yet only 2% of people have him in their team. So he's a bit of a secret weapon that not many people know about. Now, he's in my team. I do recommend you guys give him a go as well, because he's not going anywhere from my team. Yeah, definitely someone to look out for. Next is Pau Torres for Spain, again 4.5 million. I was so sure, in fact, that I had Pau Torres in my first cheap players video that I almost didn't put him in this video. I couldn't believe I didn't include him in the first one, but here we are. I'll make it up to you guys by including him in the second video. So 4.5 million defender, almost guaranteed to start for Spain. I think we'll all agree this is a great bargain, you know, considering he's playing for Spain, one of the biggest teams in the world. He's had a really good season with Villarreal for the second year in a row, this time winning the Europa League and being a big part of that as well. He started 7 out of the last, I think, 9 Spain games he's been available for. So really, he's becoming one of the most popular picks in that Spain team. Obviously, we've seen players like Ramos and Piqué dropping out. Torres is seen as the long-term successor to these guys. And in terms of goals and assists, probably wouldn't expect too much from Torres. As a centre-back, he doesn't really contribute that much to the attack, and his only goal for Spain did come against Malta. So really, we're just looking for clean sheet points here, but Spain, one of the top teams in the competition, you know, fixtures against Sweden, Poland, Slovakia, so a really nice group as well. I do think there are going to be points, clean sheet points available for our Spanish defenders. So now we've got Stefan Ristovski for North Macedonia at 4 million. Now you're probably thinking, Dan, you're absolutely mad putting Ristovski on this list. A 4 million, defender for Macedonia. How good can he possibly be? But hear me out. 4 million is literally the cheapest possible price a player can be in this game. And I believe that Ristovski is the best player at that ultimate base level bottom price available. So you guys may know the more famous Alioski does play as a left wing back, but on the other side, we have Ristovski for North Macedonia, playing like right wing back, right midfield type position. He's kind of a lesser known guy on the other side of the pitch. So he's playing in a kind of an advanced wide defender player on the right. And he's not even a bad player, you know. He's played regular European football with Zagreb and Sporting in Portugal over the past 5 years, where he's been first choice right back. He has 62 caps, 2 goals, 6 assists in his career. He's playing for a big underdog team who have pulled off some shock results recently. I have to admit, they kind of beat Germany in March, for example, and they're kind of capable of keeping the odd clean sheet, and their first 2 fixtures aren't too bad either. Now, I'm not saying Ristovski is the answer to a lot of your prayers. You know, he's not going to be the solution to your team. He should be there in your team as a 5th choice defender, an absolute emergency defender should you need him. But if you do want to go really cheap with your 5th defender, you want to go for the ultimate budget player, then I really do think Ristovski is the ultimate 4 million player in the whole game. So once again, guys, in this video, we are going to do some honourable mentions. So we've got Jan Bednarek. Bednarek, nice first game against Slovakia. Decent chance of a clean sheet. 4.5 million for Poland. Not bad. Jan Boril, Czech Republic, 4.5 million again. Nailed left back for Czech Republic, who play Scotland first, so could be a decent fixture. We've got Zeki Selik for Turkey, 4.5 million. Probably the most likely right back to start for Turkey. He's actually scored 2 international goals as well, which is pretty nice. And Alessandro Bastoni for Italy at 4.5 million. Now, I do think the Bastoni is unlikely to start, but it is possible, and if so, he is the cheapest way into the best defence in the whole tournament. You'll be able to check the Italy lineup, of course, before the deadline. If he doesn't happen to play, you can switch him out for someone else, but if he does happen to play, it might be actually worth going for him just to get that nice clean sheet from the best clean sheet team in the whole competition. Into midfield, we've got David Alaba from Austria, 5.5 million. Now, manage your expectations a little bit for a 5.5 midfielder, but if you're really, really tight on your budget, Alaba could be the one for you. Now, for less than 5.5 million, you're really going to struggle to play many players that will even start games. And even if you do, they're usually those defensive midfielders with no real chance of getting more than 2 points. With Alaba, you have a nailed-on player, star of his country. And as you can see, his goal and assist record for his country is much better than you might expect at club level. Now, he plays as a left midfielder for Austria. He's kind of on free kicks, corners, maybe even penalties, depending on who else is on the pitch. So whilst you probably shouldn't expect mega hauls, he has many different ways of potentially scoring you points, scoring goals, getting assists, many ways of getting those points potentially, and that's all you can really ask for at this kind of price. Austria play their first game in the tournament against the underdogs North Macedonia. They will fancy their chances at winning this game. If so, where are the goals going to come from? Kalajdzic, Arnautovic if he plays. I think Alaba's name, however, is going to be pretty high on that list as potential goal scorers in that game, so worth a look at least. Ilkay Gundogan, Germany, 7.5 million. I know this group is pretty tough for Germany, and you guys are probably not too interested in many German players, at least for match day 1. I did still want to cast your eyes towards Gundogan. Now, in terms of the mid-price midfielders, I do think he is up there with the best. He's kind of come off the back of his best goal-scoring season with City, with 13 goals. He's nailed himself in the Germany side. He's getting a few goal contributions too. He scored 2 goals in his last 3 international starts, and in his last 11 international appearances, he's got 5 goals goals and 2 assists, which is not too bad at all. Now, depending on how Germany's set up, he could either operate as the most advanced of a 3-man midfield with Kimmich and one of Goretzka or Kroos playing a bit deeper, or if Germany line up with a back 5, it's a little bit more of a mystery because we don't know where he would slot in that kind of system. Maybe he plays as a central midfielder, maybe an attacking midfielder, maybe even as a false 9, in which case, what a great asset he would become if that was the case. Not 100% sure, but either way, he's one of the stars of the team and he could easily be a bargain depending on the fixture. Next up, I've got here Jakub Jankto from Czech Republic. He's only 6 million. Now, we've got a bit of a differential one here, a bit of a different one, certainly an interesting one. Again, for 6 million, don't expect a world beater. You can't have a team full of Ronaldos and Mbappes. We wish, right? But not possible. Sometimes you have to have a Jankto, a Jankto. I'm not exactly sure. Is it Jan or Jan in the Czech Republic? I'm going to go with Jan. But in terms of cheap midfielders at 6 million or less, Jankto is up there with Alaba as one of my favourites, particularly for match day 1. Now, here's why. So, the first fixture is against Scotland, which I do think the Czech team could do a bit of damage to. And in terms of Czech attackers, I do think Jankto is up there, mostly in terms of creativity. He plays on the left wing. He's kind of one of the most nailed-on players in their attack. And he's actually managed a goal and 3 assists in his past 5 international games. So overall, certainly for match day 1, he could provide some real value for 6 million. Let's do the honourable mentions, guys. Leon Goretzka, 6.5 million for Germany. When he's back and fit, I think he's going to be great value, knowing his international record. We've got Steven Berghuis, Netherlands, 7 million. Big if, but if we find out the Netherlands are returning to a 4-3-3 style of formation, then he could be a great pick at that price. We've got Seb Larsson, one of my favourite all-time players, 6 million. Now, some people say that Ekdal and Olsen will start ahead of him for Sweden, but he does seem to be playing consistently from what I've seen. And, you know, he even started all 3 of those players last friendly, so I do think he still could start. He's on free kicks, corners, penalties, Sweden legend, right? And finally, Nikola Vlasic from Croatia, 6.5 million. Now, he's not 100% to start every game, but when he does, he's a great attacking midfielder / winger at a really good price. On to forwards, and we'll start you off with Teemu Pukki, Finland, 7 million. Now, probably the best 7 million forward available to you. In fact, I would go as far as to say he's definitely the best 7 million forward available to you. And you know, FPL players, guys, of you who play FPL, big shout out to you guys. You probably will have a little bit of love for this guy, right? The question is, are you ready for another Pukki party? So, Pukki, no real surprise, he's the absolute star of this Finland team. It's no real exaggeration when I say everything this national team does going forward goes through Pukki. In his last 4 games for Finland, Finland have scored 6 goals. Pukki scored 5 of those 6 goals. In his last 16 starts, he scored an insane 15 goals. And 1 assist as well on top of that, so that's not bad. He was the 4th top scoring player during the Euro qualifiers with 10 goals. Only Harry Kane, Cristiano Ronaldo and Israel's Eren Zahavi scored more than Pukki during qualifiers. So yes, he is an absolutely insane pick if you want a budget forward. And probably the only player worth considering from Finland out of the true 4 million budget options, I guess, just because he dominates the scoring for them so much. So fixtures are mixed. Denmark, tricky team. Russia and Belgium, though, I do think that Pukki can score a goal against each of those teams. So you could go straight in for him now, or if you're not convinced, maybe wait until match day 2 and then go for Pukki. Next, I've got Wout Weghorst from the Netherlands, 7 million. So, assuming that Netherlands are sticking to this 2 up front formation, which they seem to be, Weghorst looks like he's likely to be the striker who's going to start up top with Memphis Depay. Now, obviously, Depay is the star of the show, but for 7 million, you could get his striking partner in. Probably the most favourable group of the tournament, I would say. Netherlands play Ukraine first, then Austria, and then finally Macedonia. They're an attacking team. If you're picking a player to score some goals for the Netherlands, aside from Depay, the other striker is probably a good place to start, right? And aside from that, who do you go for? In this formation, they kind of got 2 centre mids that play deeper and then just a bunch of defenders, so it's kind of difficult. But Weghorst genuinely could be the second best option here. So if you can't afford Depay, or if you want to double up on the Netherlands attack, this could be a good way to go. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and pretend he has a great record at international level. He doesn't, but he has performed well and made a name for himself at club level for a few years now. He scored 20 goals this season for Wolfsburg in Germany, and I'm sure he'll be very keen to add to his first Netherlands goal he scored the other day in just his second start. Honourable mentions, guys? Yeah, come on. Gerard Moreno, 6.5 million. If he actually starts for Spain, he's going to be the best value forward in the game, hands down. But I do think Morata is preferred for his position. So this is a really, really super risky pick. We've got Daniel Marlin for Netherlands. Good young player who is rated in the Netherlands. Let's see if he can get some game time. If so, certified bargain. We've got Goran Pandev, North Macedonia, 6.5 million. Probably the best known player from Macedonia outside of Alioski. He's kind of a cheap striker if you fancy an underdog team. And we've got Andre Kramaric as well. Croatia, 6.5 million. So he's going to be most likely the main striker for Croatia. So could be worth going for as a punt after the England game. And those, guys, are your cheap players for Euro Fantasy. Hopefully these were slightly better than the first video. I know the first videos were pretty good, but these ones hopefully even better. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there are any cheap players that you think should be in everyone's team. Everyone should know about these excellent cheap players. Let me know in the comments and I'll have a look, reply to you and see what you guys come up with. I'm quite interested to know, as always, because there's always some gems in the comment. We know about that. But anyway, like the video if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new around here as well and you want more Euro Fantasy content in your face. Why not, guys? Come on, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm ready to go. We're so close now to the first kickoff, so exciting times indeed. And aside from that, mini league in the description, Twitter, Instagram, all in the description. And that's it, guys. I will see you tomorrow for a very special buy, sell, keep, avoid video. Some of you guys will be familiar with that name. And aside from that, I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.